Welcome to Voyage Daily Tech, the most important news personalized for you every day, supported by Voyage.com.
Today, we're sharing 5 stories. First, how Tesla's customer loyalty plunged from 73% to under 50%, with new data linking the unprecedented drop to CEO Elon Musk's political stances. Second, why Nvidia's H20 chip return to China is backfiring as Beijing accuses them of hardware backdoors and homegrown rivals take over the market. Third, the AI boom is so big that Google is now striking deals to power down its own data centers to help prevent blackouts on the US grid. Fourth, Lyft and China's Baidu are launching thousands of Robotaxis in Europe, but Baidu is also partnered with Lyft's arch rival Uber, creating a global showdown. And fifth, we'll cover Taiwan's radical solution to its chipmaker talent crisis, recruiting teenagers at summer camps to protect its vital silicon shield. Our first story today is a real shocker from the EV world. Tesla, once the undisputed king of customer loyalty, has seen its support completely collapse. For years, Tesla wasn't just a car company. It was a movement. Buying a Tesla was a statement, and this created a powerful bond with its customers. But now, that bond appears to be fracturing at an alarming rate. According to exclusive data from S&P Global Mobility, the EV maker's repeat customer rate has plunged. So the thing is, S&P tracks household vehicle registrations. When a family that owns a Tesla buys a new car, S&P can see if they bought another Tesla or switched. It's a powerful way to measure real-world loyalty. Just last year, an industry-leading 73% of Tesla-owning households bought another Tesla. That number has now plummeted to a low of 49.9%, falling below the industry average. A top S&P analyst called the situation unprecedented, stating, "I've never seen this rapid of a decline in such a short period of time." The data shows the loyalty rate started to nosedive in July 2024, right after CEO Elon Musk endorsed President Donald Trump. Some analysts believe the CEO's deep dive into politics has turned off the brand's traditional eco-conscious customer base. For a long time, the CEO, being the face of the brand, was Tesla's superpower. But in today's polarized world, it's become a massive liability. Research shows just how tangible this effect can be. One study found that consumers who disagree with the CEO's political stance would need a whopping 25% price cut just to consider choosing that brand over a neutral competitor. That's a huge hurdle for any company to overcome. And the fallout isn't just with current owners, the damage goes deeper. A recent Bloomberg survey of 5,000 former Tesla owners found that while over 21% sold their car because they disapproved of Elon Musk, another 19% pointed to concerns about vehicle quality and service. So it's a mix of factors hitting all at once. For years, Tesla was in a different stratosphere, acquiring nearly 5 new households for everyone it lost. That powerful advantage has been slashed. Since February, Tesla has been gaining fewer than 2 households for everyone it loses. Competitors like Rivian, Polestar, and Porsche are now the ones attracting former Tesla buyers. The impact is significant because these competitors aren't just getting lucky, they have a playbook. They're actively targeting Tesla's weaknesses. Hyundai's Ioniq 5, for example, is winning over drivers with its unique design and by offering features Tesla famously lacks, like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Meanwhile, Rivian is carving out its own loyal following with rugged, adventure-focused marketing. This isn't just a US problem either. The backlash appears to be global. In Europe, where public reaction to Musk's politics has been fierce, Tesla sales fell a staggering 33% in the first 6 months of the year. While the company is now betting its future on Robotaxis, one analyst says his top concerns are the loss of market share and what can be done to repair the brand damage. To distract from falling sales, Tesla is pushing its vision of a self-driving future, even launching a small robotaxi service in Austin, Texas. To put that in context, that service started with only about a dozen cars, while Waymo already provides over 250,000 rides per week across multiple cities. It all leads to a crucial question. Can Tesla's futuristic vision survive its present-day reality? Speaking of tech giants facing unexpected headwinds, Nvidia's much-anticipated return to the Chinese market isn't quite the victory lap everyone expected. The company just got the green light to sell its advanced H20 chips back to China after a crippling ban. But believe it or not, the reality is turning into a potential disaster. Now, get this. The H20 isn't just a regular chip. It's a masterclass in navigating regulations. To comply with US export controls, Nvidia had to deliberately reduce its raw computational power compared to their top-tier H100 chip. The clever part was massively boosting its memory capacity and speed. The strategic gamble was to create a chip that was both compliant and desirable, because for certain AI tasks, like running large language models, that extra memory makes the H20 surprisingly powerful. Instead of a triumphant return, analysts are now forecasting Nvidia's AI chip market share in China will plummet from a dominant 66% this year down to just 54% in 2025. That's a 12-point drop in 12 months. The reason this is happening is that the US export controls, designed to hobble China, instead created a golden opportunity for local rivals. By cutting off access to top-tier US tech, the policy unintentionally forced China to accelerate its own path to self-reliance, with tech giants like Alibaba and Baidu now actively integrating domestic chips into their systems. While Nvidia was locked out, Chinese chip makers like Huawei, Cambricon, and Hygon seized the booming domestic market. And make no mistake, these homegrown chips are becoming incredibly competitive. Huawei's Ascend 910B chip, for example, has been shown to outperform Nvidia's older, but still popular, A100 chip in certain tasks. The scale of this shift is staggering. Experts predict that China's reliance on its own homegrown AI chips will surge from just 17% last year to a commanding 55% by 2027. The competition's already here and taking over. But that's not the whole picture. The real turning point is even more alarming. Just as Nvidia's chips are allowed back in, they're being hit with a new attack. Beijing is now putting the company under the microscope for national security. China's own cyberspace administration summoned Nvidia officials to answer for potential backdoors in the H20 chips that could allow parties in the US to access or control them. A claim like this is a serious power play. A hardware backdoor isn't just software. It's a physical vulnerability, like a hidden kill switch, intentionally embedded into the silicon. What's so damaging is that they are notoriously difficult and sometimes impossible to detect. The mere suggestion of one creates a deep-seated distrust that's hard to shake, sparking what some are calling a new era of mutually assured hardware distrust. This move sends a chilling signal to Chinese companies, creating hesitation right when Nvidia needs to regain trust. It's a strategic play to steer the entire nation toward its own homegrown technology. So what was supposed to be a comeback now looks more like a trap, forcing us to wonder, will this be the moment Nvidia's dominance in the world's biggest market began to crumble for good? That intense competition in the AI chip market is fueling an unprecedented technological boom. But this boom has a voracious appetite, and as our next story shows, it's so massive it's threatening to break the US power grid. The Department of Energy estimates that by 2028, data centers could consume up to 12% of the entire nation's electricity. That's up from just over 4% in 2023. An explosion in energy demand. Utilities are being absolutely inundated with requests for electricity, and in some areas, the demand for AI data centers is now eclipsing the total available power supply. This has sparked serious concerns about spiking energy bills and even the threat of blackouts. Now, in a move that shows just how serious this is, Google has signed agreements to do something almost unthinkable. It will deliberately scale back power to its own AI data centers when the grid is under too much strain. This is where the situation takes a more complex turn. You might be wondering how they can just hit a pause button on a massive AI training model without corrupting it. Actually, it's incredibly sophisticated. They use techniques like dynamic workload scheduling, which is like an air traffic controller for data, rerouting jobs to other data centers. They also use predictive AI to forecast energy spikes, allowing them to scale down before the grid gets stressed. This is the first time Google has ever formally agreed to curtail its machine learning workloads for a utility. They've joined what are called demand response programs, something typically reserved for heavy manufacturing or crypto mining. The significance of these programs is a fascinating concept called negawatts. A negawatt is a watt of energy that you don't use. Instead of building a costly new power plant, a utility can pay a large user like Google to simply use less power during peak hours. It's often cheaper to pay for saved energy than to produce new energy, and research shows that a mere 5% reduction in US peak electricity demand could save an estimated $35 billion over 20 years. Google's cutting-edge AI operations are now being put in the same category as a steel mill, forced to power down to keep the lights on for everyone else. The company has struck these first-of-their-kind deals with Indiana, Michigan Power, and the Tennessee Power Authority. This is sparking a new kind of competition with states battling to attract these data centers. Kansas City just approved $10 billion for a Google AI campus. Wyoming is planning an AI data center that could require more electricity than all the homes in the entire state combined. States are offering huge tax incentives, creating new AI hubs across the country. This reveals a fundamental conflict at the heart of the tech revolution. It also raises a huge ethical question. Who decides which AI workloads are non-essential and can be paused? This is a new frontier where we have to balance technological progress with our most basic societal needs, a true showdown between the future of technology and the power grid we all depend on. While tech giants are grappling with how to power the AI revolution, others are racing to deploy that AI on city streets. A seemingly impossible collaboration just became a reality as a major American ride-hailing company and a Chinese tech giant are teaming up to unleash a fleet of Robotaxis in Europe. Interestingly enough, Europe is quickly becoming the key battleground for the future of autonomous vehicles. Why? It has advanced infrastructure and, critically, is developing clear regulatory frameworks that companies can actually work with. This creates a massive opportunity. Lyft, a name you know from the US, is making a massive play for the European market. After buying the European ride-hailing company FreeNow, giving them an instant footprint in over 150 cities, they've now partnered with China's Baidu to bring driverless taxis to the UK and Germany starting in 2026. Now, you might be asking, how can Baidu's AI, which was primarily trained on Chinese roads, possibly navigate the chaotic roundabouts of London or the unique traffic patterns of Berlin? The answer is a technology called transfer learning. This allows the AI to use its existing knowledge as a foundation and then rapidly adapt to new environments. But this creates another huge challenge. Data privacy. Every piece of data these cars collect on European streets falls under the strict GDPR rules, and non-compliance carries massive fines. And we're not talking about a small test run. The plan is for thousands of these autonomous vehicles to hit the roads. But hitting the roads in 2026 isn't simple. Germany and the UK have set up some of the world's most demanding safety hurdles. Germany's 2021 law allows for these level 4 fully autonomous vehicles, but only after intense technical review. The UK went even further with its 2024 Automated Vehicles Act, requiring a self-driving car to be as safe as a careful human driver. Crucially, the new laws in both countries are trending towards making the manufacturer, Baidu, legally and financially liable in an accident. This move lights a fire under the competition, especially Lyft's biggest rival, Uber, which plans to launch its own self-driving rides in the UK that same year with a different partner. However, if you zoom out, you'll see another layer of strategy at play. Baidu, Lyft's new partner, isn't exclusive. The Chinese tech firm also has a deal with Uber to deploy its Robotaxis in other parts of the world, like the Middle East and Asia. This setup presents a fascinating duality. You have a single technology provider, Baidu, powering competing services run by two arch rivals, Lyft and Uber, in different regions. As these global giants carve up the map, who is really in the driver's seat of the autonomous revolution? We're seeing these incredible AI applications like Robotaxis roll out globally, but all of this advanced tech relies on one thing, the tiny, powerful chips that make it all possible. And the industry that powers your phone, your car, and the entire world of AI is now facing an existential threat, and it's not what you think. Taiwan's dominance in chip making is often called its silicon shield. This is important because the world's reliance on its technology makes it too important to fail, providing a layer of geopolitical protection. But that shield is only as strong as the people who build it. Taiwan's semiconductor sector is the undisputed king, but it's hitting a wall. Job openings have exploded from around 19,000 to nearly 34,000. After all, this isn't just a local problem. The talent shortage is being made worse by aggressive international competition. Reports show rival firms have been actively poaching Taiwanese engineers, creating a brain drain. The root problem? The country is running out of people, its annual birth rate has collapsed, and the number of STEM graduates has dropped by 15%. So what's their radical solution? They're recruiting teenagers. An American chip design firm, Synopsys, is now running bilingual summer camps for kids, charging over $1,000 for them to tour the high-tech factories that build the chips for their video games. And these aren't just one-off events. Other initiatives are targeting children as young as 10, using online games to make chip science fun. Now, you might be wondering if this is just a PR stunt. Well, research shows these kinds of programs have a real impact. One national study found that up to 85% of kids in STEM after-school programs reported a genuine increase in their interest in a STEM career. This isn't just wishful thinking, it's a data-backed strategy. The urgency is palpable. One university president put it this way: the issue everyone is discussing now is where the future workforce will come from. When we place this human-centric solution alongside the industry's other big push, automation, the full picture becomes clear. Companies like Intel have already seen a 20% efficiency boost by integrating AI into their production lines. The ultimate goal is the dark fab, a fully autonomous factory run by AI and robots. This could solve the labor crisis, but the complexity and cost are massive hurdles. This isn't just about summer camps. The talent search has gone global, with universities launching programs for foreign students and TSMC backing a program to bring German students to Taiwan for study and internships. However, just importing talent isn't a simple fix. There are major cultural hurdles. When TSMC opened its new factory in Arizona, reports surfaced of culture clashes between the demanding Taiwanese management style and the expectations of American engineers. Overcoming these deep-seated differences is a massive part of this global talent puzzle. It's a high-stakes gamble to solve a demographic crisis. The ultimate question remains, will it be enough to secure the future of the industry the entire world depends on? Or, as companies like TSMC build new factories abroad, will Taiwan end up exporting its most critical industry?
That's it for today on Voyage Daily Tech. Follow, share, and stay tuned for daily updates coming your way tomorrow.